Shalom Aleichem, everybody. We're up to Daf Mem Aleph, and we'll be starting from Mem Omad Beis on the bottom. Over here, it's like around 8 to 10 lines at the bottom. Monoli biyadcha. Yeah, the Mishnah says, the guy says to his friend, "You owe me $100." And the guy says, "Never met you before." Incha biyadi klum. Potter, he's potter from a Shevuos min haTorah. No Shevuos min haTorah. Omer Rav Nachman. Now we come to a din of Rav Nachman, Gewalden geschrigen, mashbiin oisoi Shevuos hesses. That even a kofer hakoil, although min haTorah you're not chayav Shevuos, the Rabbanan came along and they're mechayev and a Shevuos. It's called the Shevuos hesses. Rashi says lashon hesses is a lashon of suma. Shesamu chachamim olav Shevuos. This Shevuos was imposed on this nitba midrabanan. My timer. Why did the Rabbanan do that? Chazaka inon taveya el ken yesh lo olav. Chazaka that a person won't try to collect money unless he's right. In other words, unless it's true. So that chazaka is machriach the nitba to swear. Yeah. So why not min haTorah? Why only with the Rabbanan? Okay, let's hang tight. Gemara asks, Adarabba, chazaka ino domez panav v'nei bal chayvai. What do you mean? A kofer hakoil is an opposing chazaka. The nitba would never deny or lie completely in the face of the bal chayv of someone who did him a favor, right? Too strong of, it's called Jewish guilt, conscience. Yeah, it doesn't have the courage to do that. Gemara says, no, I'll tell you. Truth is, he's not trying to lie, right? He's just trying to avoid. Savar adahavali paranale. He feels like I'm going to push it off. I'm just going to be kofer hakoil for now, for a little bit. Yeah? Until I got the money, paranale. So there, when a guy has that type of rationalization, then he could be kofer hakoil, which is why the Chachamim were matil a Shevuos on this guy. He just wants to be marviach zman. Lamaisa, I see over here, Rishonim. So if he just wants to be marviach zman, why put a Shevuos on him? So I'll end up paying you anyway, right? So why make him swear? Yeah, he's not a liar. So he's going to end up paying you, right? Right now he doesn't have. If he doesn't have, what's a Shevuos going to help? Right? He's anyways going to pay you. He's going to pay you a little later, tomorrow, next week, next month, right? So they say, they say, no. Right now when he's kofer hakoil, he taka has good intentions, right? He doesn't really want to steal the money. He's just going to push you off. But as time goes by, and more time elapses, it's not so pashut. Yeah, a month goes by, 2 months go by, then he's going to end up to be pesheya and not pay forever. So that's why we're going to push him to make the Shevuos right now. Lamaisa brings in the bottom over here, according to Rashi Baba Kama Kov Zayin, it seems like the Torah was not mechayev a Shevuos b'kofer hakoil, because the chazak of eino dameh is panav b'fnei bal chayvai. The Gemara says is temuta de kemishtametle. What happened to this svara? The Gemara says here. It says we have to say that that's only b'doyrus ha'achronim. So that's where the chachamim kick in with the Shevuos hesses. But b'doyrus rishonim, right? That taka, even that wasn't common for a person to deny b'fnei bal chayvai that he ever lent the money, even with the intention of paying back later. But there was Rishonim that wasn't something people would do. So neskatni adoides, doides achronim, they had a little more chutzpah. So with the rationalization to Kamishtavet, they wanted to be kofer hakoil. That's why the Chacham came along and gave him the Shevuos. Okay, Teida. Hakofer b'milva kasha le'edus. I'll show you that even a kofer hakoil is not a ganav. Why? He just wants to push off the loan to pay back, and that's why if he's kofer b'milva and Adam proved that he was kofer taka, he's found to be a liar, he's still kasha le'edus. Why? Because he's not nechsha to give edus sheker just because he was kofer on a halva. Because the kfiras halva was with good intentions. He's trying to push it off, right? He's trying to avoid now. But bepikadon, where you weren't allowed to use a bachlal, you should have it in your own in your house. Then he's pasal edus. Says the Gemara, Rav Chaviva Masni a Seifa. Chaviva said over this halacha of Rav Nachman of the Sefer of the Mishnah. Mon lebiyatcha omelehen lamochram letneili nesativ lecha poter. Here, the guy already admitted yesterday that I owe you the money. Just the next day he says, "Oh, you already gave it. You already paid you." Then he's poter. Menatayra. But Rav Nachman on that, Rav Nachman says, "Mashbino is a Shevuos esses." So man, the Masni Areisha Kosh Kana Sefer. If you hold that even if the loiva never admitted he's chayiv a Shevuos esses, so certainly if he admitted yesterday, now he's not, then certainly he's chayiv. Only here when he admitted yesterday, so there's a tvias mammon already, there's a dror of the mamayna, there's a basis to be mechayev him to assume that he has the money. That's when the chacham will matla Shevuos esses on him. But in a case where he's originally right away, as soon as he makes the claim, he denies it, the lekka dror of the mamayna, then he's not chayev Shevuos esses. Asks the Gemara the kasha, ma ika ben shavua mederaisa l'shvua derabanan. Lamaisa, is there a chilek? Right? Shavua derabanan has to be. B'Shem Hashem, it's mamish with all the bells and whistles Shvuah Deraisa has, right? Even though not so fast, because Lamaisa, a lot of Rishonim say, we learned a couple of blot ago that Shavuot, beginning of Shavuos Hadayon, beginning of this parak, Mora said, you have the Kittas Chayfetz, you have a Sefer Torah, if you're Talmud Chacham, even a pair of tefillin, you have to stand, right? You're Ma'ayin. The Rishonim say by Shvuah Derabana you don't hold a Sefer Torah. There's no Nikitas Chayfetz. So what's the Gemara's kasha? My ikabit Shvuah Deraisa l'Shvuah Derabanan. And they say that Avad, the Gemara knew that. The Gemara is not asking on the derech of the Shevuah, how you make the Shevuah. The Gemara is asking on the din of the Shevuah itself. Whatever dinam are negeya to the etzem Shevuah, not to the bells and whistles surrounding the Shevuah. So the Gemara says, when the nitba, right, who is supposed to swear, wants to turn over the Shevuah to the Teveya and say, look, I could swear and be potter. But I want to give you the opportunity, if you want to swear that I taka owe you the money, I'll pay it to you. So here it's called Meifach Shvuah. So but the Raisa, loy mapchina Shvuah. By Shvuah, the Raisa, the Nitva doesn't have that choice. But the Rabbanan, mapchina, the Nitva can offer the Teveya to swear, and he can take the money. According to Rabbi Rashi, says that opportunity you also have by Shvuah the Raisa. What's the chiluk with the Raisa the Rabbanan? Question is, the Bezdin, if you refuse to pay, right, or swear, then Bezdin goes into your account, into your assets, and they force you to pay. But the Raisa nachsin l'nechsei, by Shvuah the Raisa, they are yored l'nechasa, but the Rabban l'nechsin l'nechsei. Umar says, slow down. Rabbi Yoel Gold, Nam nechsin l'nechsei, that Nam metzias chayshayt v'katan, yesh bem gezl darke sholem, Rabbi Yosem gezl gomer, Rabbi Yosem gezl gomer, v'Omer Rav Chizda gezl gomer medivreim, so gezl medivreim, the Rabbanan. So the Gemara asks, L'maynav kaminu lo tziyah b'dayanan, right? Rav Chizda holds that in Rabbi Yosi, if a guy steals the mitzvah of a cotton, right, it's gezel gomer midrabanan. And what? And dayanim, Bezdin, will go and take it back from you. So you see, according to Rabbi Yosi, that even b'drabanan, Bezdin yordin nachsina l'nechsei. So then what would be the difference in Shvuah d'Oraisa and Shvuah d'Rabanan? Gemara says, Ma'ik b'Oraisa d'Rabanan, ekamanai shekenegdoi chashad ala Shvuah. A case where the guy is chashad ala Shvuah. Oh, shekenegda means whoever is kenegda the teveya, the nitba, right, who's supposed to swear is chashid. Bidder writes shekenegda chashid l'shvuah f'china l'shvuah sameidach. Then the teveya swears and he takes the money. But the Rabbanon, no, tekantehi, the whole shvuah on the nitba is a takana. So if the nitba is now chashud, you want to make another takana for a takana that the teveya should swear. Takanta lev dinner. We don't do a takana for a takana. Also, the Gemara Rabbanan, people had the raised number of Rabbanan l'nechsin l'nechsei. Ma'av dinner le according to Rabbanan Ruchaylik and Rabbi Yosi, ma'atzir eschay shayt v'katan. That anybody can just come and grab it from a cotton. Well, ma'av dinner le, what are you going to do? B'shabtina le, you put him at the chayrim. What? Now your mom is grabbing the guy's shirt and you're not letting go until he returns it. Why? Because if you excommunicate him, you manad him, you put him in chayrim, that's really, really bad. In other words, he's not going to have a choice but to give it back. So what do? You put him in chayrim, and after 30 days, if he doesn't come to Bezdin to remove the chayrim, to ask Bezdin to remove the chayrim, then you give him 30 days, and then you give him makas mardus. Once you give him makas mardus, you let him keep it. Somebody is moitzi a shtar choiv and his friend. He says, shtar peruo. The nitba says, I paid it a long time ago. They say to the loiva, you're not believed, because the malva is holding a shtar. Zil shalem, you have to pay him. Omar, but the loiva says, l'shtabeli, I want the malva to swear to me to back up his claim, even though he has a shtar. He said, the malva is shtabeli, the malva has to swear. What's poigim estorei? Guy pulls out a star. You admit you owe part of the star, not the whole star. That's poigim the star. It's called poigim estorei. And then the Malva swears that he didn't pay the rest of the chayv, and he takes the rest of the chayv. So the Gemara says, yeah, so when the Malva admits that the part of the shtar was paid up, he has to swear on the rest of the shtar and then he collects it. So what's the difference between this and this? Baya poigim eshtari, when the Malva admits that part of the shtar was paid up, Bezdin forces him, Tanina le'anan, right? Even if the loiva doesn't ask for it, we ask the Malva, you got to back up your claim now on the rest of the shtar, that he still owes it to you. Versus Hacha, but over here, when the Malva doesn't admit that part of the shtar was paid up, says no pagam on the shtar, aminan le zil shalem, we tell the loiva to pay. The loiv himself says to the Malva Shtieble, then we force him, we force the Malva to swear. But if the Malva is Talmid Chacham, we don't force the Malva to swear, we believe him. What do you mean? Talmid Chacham could just take off shirts from people's backs. In other words, he can also, he's also chashid. Why should he be different than anybody else? He should also have to swear if the loiva demands a Shevuos. Elo, says the Gemara, we don't even deal, we don't accept the case to Bezdin. We don't deal with the case of a Talmid Chacham that pulls out a shtar and the loiva says swear. We don't get involved in that case. Avad, the Talmid Chacham wants to swear, he can swear and take the money. But we're not going to force the Talmid Chacham to swear, because then it's going to look like we're suspicious of Talmid Chacham to be mishaker. We don't want to do that, so we b'chlal don't touch the case b'chlal. Case in the Mishnah was, he says, you owe me money, and the loiva admits, the next day, he says, give it to me, he says, I already gave it to you. So he's potter. But if he said, don't give it back to me, don't pay me back only with Edom, and the next day he says, I gave it to you, then he's chai because he should have given it back with Edom. That was the Mishnah. Ooh. Any alva that takes place with Edom, he's got to pay back with Edom. That's Rav Asi's Chiddush b'Shem Rav Yehuda. Ki amrita kamei de Shmuel. Rav Yehuda was a Talmud of Shmuel, so he said over this halacha b'Shem Rav Asi in front of his Rebbe Shmuel. Omer li, so Shmuel said to Rav Yehuda, Yochel loy maloi praticho b'vnei plani plani b'alcham dinas hayam. He has a mikoy. He's believed that he paid because he could have said, I taka paid with Edom, just like you lent it to me with Edom, and they're not here anymore, so I can't bring them to Bezdin. Gemara is going to ask in Rav Asi from the Mishnah. Tanan, mon lebiyat chavam lehen. Over here, since he's Teveya, the Malva is Teveya b'fnei Edom, and the loiva admitted in front of Edom that he's Takachayev. The next day he said he gave it to him, and he's still Potter. Yeah, Kamad Ois v'Edom Ketoni Potter. He sees Potter, so you see that a Malva b'Edom ain't a tzarech. It's because Tiyuf to the Ravasi, it's a Kashan Ravasi. See, the loiva doesn't have to bring Edom that he paid him back. I only said my halacha, Ravasi Katainam, I only said my halacha when the original alva, b'shaz alva, there were Edom there. Because the Malva can say, I never trusted you without Edom. Originally, when I gave you the money, I only gave it to you in front of Edom. But yeah, but over here, b'shaz dalva, he did believe him without Edom, and that's why he's good to go. So even though the Hadah happened in front of Edom, but the Alva didn't, and that's why it's different. Rav Yosef Masna Hachi. Rav Yosef learned this machlokes between Rav Asi and Shmuel differently. Rav Asi Amavas Chaver be'Edom. Einoi tzarich lapar be'Edom. Truth is, he doesn't have to pay him back with Edom. Vim Omar. But if the Malva specifically said to the Loiva b'shas dalva, Al tifre'eni ela be'Edom, tzarich lapar be'Edom, then the Malva's makbid, the Loiva has to pay him back with Edom. Kamita kamita Shmuel, Omerle, no. He could say, Yochel loimer loimer pratich v'neplan recham d'siyam. He's now with a migoy. Could have said, I paid you back in front of Edom, and they left. Tanan, says the Gemara, Avakashim, and Shmuel from our Mishnah. Tanan, Mon l'biyat chavar malehen, Omar lo yal titnei uli elo bifnei Edom. Lemocha Amalei Taneuli Nasatav Lecho Chayev. He's Chayev. They should talk to the Be'edim. Tiyuf to the Shmuel. According to Shmuel, why is he Chayev? He could have said, "I gave it back to you in front of Edom." V'Hochel Medina Sayam. Amalei Shmuel Tanoi. Shmuel says, "Nah, it's Machlekes Tanoim. You're right. You have a mission against me, but I have another Tana like me. The Tanya. Be'edim of V'Sicha Be'edim Prali. Yeah, if the Malva says to the Loiva, I lent you with Edom, I want you to pay me back with Edom. Or Yitain, or Yovi Raish Nasin. Or he has to pay, or he has to bring Edom that he paid him with Edom. Rabbi Yoel say Roimer, no. So over here, even in a case where the Malva stipulated with the Loiva Mefurash, he said, you only pay me back with Edom, you see clearly that, according to Rabbi Yoel he doesn't. He has Nema with a Migoy. So the Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yoel Porach Rav Acha. So Rav Acha asked, no, you don't have a raya from the Brisa like Shmuel. How do you know that the Brisa is talking about a case where the Malva said so b'shas alvo? Bilba b'shas tvia koi v'ochi karmalei la be'edem l'vesicha be'edem oilachol apareni. Maybe you only said it b'shas the tvia, not b'shas alvo. But b'shas alvo, direk kol chayiv, you'd be chayiv to bring an edem that you paid, and Shmuel doesn't have a raya from this Brisa. Omer of Papi, Mishmei de Rova, Hilchasa, HaMalvas Chaveira Be'edem, Tzorech Lapara Be'edem. The halacha is that if you lend with Edom, you have to pay back with Edom. But if Papa Mishmei de Rova, Malvas Chaveira, Ein Tzorech Lapara Be'edem. You don't have to. Right? Like Rav Asi's Lishna Basra. Omar, Al Tefre'eni Ela Be'edem, but if you mamish said it, that you have to pay back with Edom, Tzorech Lapara Be'edem. If the loiva says praticha b'fnei if Yitaka says that, then he's neman. Big machlekes are showing him exactly how Rav Papa is paskening. It seems like Rav Papa is paskening like the second lashon of Rav Asi, and even Rav Asi agrees that if the loiva actually tained it, he said that praticha b'fnei the matam din siyam, he's neman. Whole shaila is he never said parati migui, he could have said that. That's the shaila. But Avad Ravasi agrees that the Levi says, I paid you back in front of Edom like you asked, but they left him Dina Siyam. Even Ravasi agrees he's Neman, so Mamela, Rav Papa Mishmei de Rav is paskening all the way like the Lishna Basra, like Rav Yosef's Masna Hachi, according to Ravasi. Okay, now we get involved in a bunch of stories. My favorite, Maisalach after Maisalach, different true stories. There was a Maisa, a guy said to his friend, Ki paratin powerly ba'api Reuven and Shimon. Only pay him back in front of, not Edom, Reuven and Shimon. He told him which Edom. Ozla par ba'apatrei ma'alma. He ended up paying him in front of other two people, not Reuven and Shimon. Omar Abaye says, ba'apatrei omerlei. Lamaisi said two. Ba'apatrei pare, it's okay. He paid him back in front of Edom. Omerlei Ravel, hachi omerlei ba'api Reuven and Shimon, gechlen et chaya. I said Reuven and Shimon. I didn't want you to pay me back in front of anybody, just these two guys. So maybe you're still chayiv. Pay me back in front of two Talmidei Chacham, people who know halachas, not just anybody. Ozlo parem and delayed the day. So Loiva paid him back without Edom at all. It nisu hanach zuzi. So the Malva took the money, put it in his pocket, and lost it. Right? And oinus happened. Osla kamed Rav Nachman. So he came to Rav Nachman. Omar lei. So the Malva said to Rav Nachman, and it's true. Kabuli kabultinim, I received the money back, but I didn't accept the b'teres tashlum and b'teres perayin. Derech Pikodon, I received the Derech Pikodon, V'aminu lavigabe Pikodon, Adam Yisrael Beitron Teton Hilchas Mekayim Tnai. I'll hold it in my pocket as a Pikodon until I find Talmidei Chachamim like I requested, and then I'll accept it. But Torah's Piroim. Omar Lei, Rav Nachman said, "Kim the kamoid is the vadash akaltinim." Once your moida that your mamish took it from him, Piroim Malya. Avad, that's a good Piroim. Your moida, he gave it to you. But if your teveya that the loivish Mekayim Tnai. Zilai, bring the money that he gave you. And you can be Mekayim in front of me and Rav Sheshes, Tanin El Chasa, V'sifro, V'sifri, V'tesefta, V'kul Gemara. We're mamash tremendous Talmidei Chachamim, yeah? So if you want to be Mekayim the Tanai, bring back the money that he gave you already, and be Mekayim the Tanai, and they patered the loiva. A third story, give me the $100 that I lent you, Amalei, Lahadam, Loidvar Ma'elam, he never lent it to me. So then he brought Edom that not only did he lend it to him, but he also paid him. Omer Abaye, my nevet. So what should we do? In Omer Oisve, in Omer Pare. The proof that the Malva brings against the Loiva is Mamish, is his own. They're saying that he paid, so you can't charge the Loiva anymore. Rava says no, not so fast. If you analyze what the loiva said, in other words, I never borrowed from you, which means I never paid you. So here, Ados Baldin of the loiva that I never paid you. Now you have Edom who say, no, you did borrow, and you paid. So now you have the Ados Baldin of the loiva not paid, I never paid leparati, against the Edom who say he paid. So Rava says, Ados Baldin is stronger than two Edom, and he'll still have to pay. Give me back the $100 that I lent you. Didn't I pay you back already in front of these two guys? Also, these two guys that the loiva said I paid you back in front of, said they never paid it. We never saw. So Rav Sheish Lemer Huchs a kafran. You see that he's a shakran. He's not neman to swear anymore. He's got to pay. Omelei Rava, no, not so fast. Kol milsa the leramya alei the inish lav adate. Anything that people aren't paying attention to, they're not meant to pay attention to. For example, in this case, when the loiva paid back the malva, he wasn't paying attention to who was there really. Why? Because the malva never stipulated you have to pay me back in front of Edom. So he just gave him the money. He thought it was b'fnei plani or plani. It wasn't ramya alei to remember or to know exactly which people were there, because that wasn't the stipulation in the agreement between the malva and the loiva. So he said it's b'fnei plani plani. So then the halacha is that even if he's proven wrong and it wasn't for the plenty, those plenty say he was never in front of us, and he doesn't have to pay. 600 zuz. Did I lend you? Give it back to me. Didn't I pay you back 100 kav afzi from a fatzim? It's like a nut, type of nut, a kind of shita. Each one is worth 6 zuz, so it's 100 kavim of afatzi, and each one is worth shisha zuz, I paid you back all 600 zuz. Amalei, no, lav, barbar, bar, v'kaimi, wasn't it 4? Right, each kav was 4 zuz, so you only pay back 400, you chayiv 200. Ozetre, sadi, amr, en barbar, bar, v'kaimi. Malva's right, it was only worth 400, he still owed him 200. Amr Rava, in this case, huchsa kafrin. Now, the loiv is for sure a liar. Amr Ram B'chama, what do you mean? Ha'amrit, right, by the way, Rava and Ram B'chama, very interesting, yeah? We're both married to the same wife, different times, daughter of Rav Chizda, the end of Abasar, the first parak. Just interesting. Every time I see a conversation with Rav and Ram B'chama, I think about that Gemara, right? Where the daughter of Rav Chizda was sitting on Rav Chizda's lap.
Wasn't that Rav and Abai?
No, Rav and Ram B'chama, the daughter of Chizda was sitting on Rav Chizda's lap, and Gemara talks about that Nevuah was given to children and to shaitim. And she said, that Rav Chizda says, who do you want to marry? She said, I want to marry both of them. Rav said, no, Basra, I want to be last. Why? Because he was a descendant from Eli. He knew he wasn't going to live long. So he wanted to have this haftacha, at least Rami B'chama's marriage, he'll still be alive for, and he'll marry her afterwards. Anyway, so interesting relationship. They were both sons-in-law of Rav Chizda, married to the same daughter at different times. So Rava says, Amr Rami B'chama, you yourself said, right? You said that he's not going to remember stuff he doesn't need to remember. So how can you tell him? How can you say Zuch is a kafir just because you made a mistake on that? Amalei Rava said, no, people remember the market value of something. Yeah, if they have merchandise, they know exactly what the market value is. You can't say, yeah, on that. So Mamela, therefore, over here he would be Huchsa kafir. Okay, stop over here.